How about now? You hear me all right? Yes, no, yes, no. Hey, okay, good. Sweet. All right. I don't know. For some reason, everything looked normal this time. The time before when we didn't have any audio, uh, I didn't have the little sound monitor. But this time I did have the sound monitor, and it looked like I was talking. So thank you. All right. Just got my water bottle delivered to me. So thunderstorm is starting outside right now, so hopefully I don't lose power now that we finally have sound, and hopefully you shouldn't be able to hear it because I'm doing some funny stuff with the audio, and it's letting me have the AC on the whole time, and it should be nice and clear sounding for everybody. So let's go back to what I was saying before you could hear me. We're gonna do a 3 hour long stream. So it's 1 o'clock for me now, a little bit after, and we're going to try to go all the way to 4. And I'm going to give away a fountain at the end of every hour. So if I don't remember, remind me in the chat, because I might get on a roll and forget what time it is. So each hour we're giving away a fountain. So I'm going to go ahead and start the giveaway now. And there we go. So remember, you've got to be on twitch.tv/the Sandbox Game and type in !fountain to enter that. And we've got lots of news stuff to talk about. And then we'll do some stuff in the Game Maker. We'll watch some videos. We'll do a whole bunch of stuff. So, first thing is, we had the Moonsale yesterday. Or one, was it the waning Moonsale? Waxing Crescent was yesterday. And like the other ones, that sold out in about 3 minutes. I think that I actually have the time here. It was, 3 minutes. And you can actually watch this little video from the Sandbox Twitter and see just how quickly it all disappeared. You can see it down here filling up. Of course, there's compression is terrible, but that's nothing new. So that's all around Whale Shark's land. I think that is Whale Shark, right? So that filled up. I think this is the actual. This is twice the speed because this is 1 minute and 40 seconds. So, this is twice the speed of the actual sail. But you can watch it happen in just those few seconds. It all filled up really fast there, and or maybe that was 4 times the speed because it's almost. I guess the little getting filled in there. So, crazy stuff there. So the next one is June 30th, which is in 6 days. That's the waxing quarter. Same number of lands for sale. And then July 2nd, there's going to be the last Moonsale, which is going to be half the size at 711 lands. So keep an eye out for that. You really want to be there before it starts, because if you're 3 minutes late, it's going to be all gone. I'm hearing big thunder booms. So if everything goes black all of a sudden and the stream ends, that's just because I lost power. Just, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll tweet out if I lose power because I'll still have my phone. So another thing to keep an eye out for is the Moonsale treasure hunt. So you can follow along with what's going in here. So the prize at the end is a 12x12 estate, which is about $5,000 in value. And you just got to follow the clues along with each Moonsale. And there's all the details in this article. And those clues are going to be the passphrase words or the seed phrase for the wallet that has the land in it. So that's really exciting. That's a huge prize for that contest. Surge protectors. Yeah, I do. I actually have a very decent surge protector, but I don't have a backup power supply. So sometimes people have it so that like if they lose power, their computer will like shut down slowly, like, correctly. They'll have like 5-10 minutes to finish what they're doing and shut down. Mine, it just dies. So, but the surge protector is good. It's a really nice beefy one. So I'm not worried about that. And let's see. There is a new contest going on for Vox Edit. So the one, this is at forum.sandbox.game, and you want to check out the contest and giveaways subforum. And the one for this week, they're doing these every other week for now. The one for this week is doing assets based on the Sandbox Evolution. So the goal is to get some of the Sandbox Evolution assets into the new Sandbox, and they've got some ones here. I'm not sure why this is unavailable for download. I'll talk to that might be these images, but you can see them here, and we can actually take a look at. There's a couple entries so far. I'm actually going to refresh in case anybody sent something new. Nope, just these two. So we've got Skeleton Soldier by Remigio, I think it would be in Italian, right? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He is one of our new Creator Fund artists who just signed up. And Sandy is also, I believe, I recognize the picture. The name's a little bit different than I know. I believe he's also a Creator Fund artist. So these are both people who just joined our Creator Fund. And we've got this awesome skeleton soldier. It's got similar sort of construction to the skeleton that's currently in the game maker, but it's got this creepy, bronze sort of color going on, a glowing sword, and this awesome portal with these glowing animations going up the side. Hi, Vinny. And hi, Ramshorn. Good to see you back. And wow, the trees are like bending over outside my window. We get really high winds here sometimes. We're kind of like up, higher altitude, at least for a coastal state. So yeah, some cool entries already. So competition is open until the 30th, and voting begins on the 25th, which is tomorrow. Okay, so make sure to get your entries in there. And I believe the prize each week is one land for the winners. Let's see. Yeah. One land and special in-game contest winner assets. So that's for the first 3 places. There's also been some changes to the rules for the competitions. We had some people that weren't happy with the way the voting worked before, and we like listening to our community and trying to make it as best as possible for everybody. So new changes are that the Sandbox team will be asked to vote on their favorite assets. This will give the assets that are very well done but not shared for friends voting a chance to pop up. So what was happening before is people who had a lot of friends would get their pieces voted to the top very quickly, and people who didn't have as big of like a network of friends or followers on social media didn't get a chance to really get exposure for their assets. The Sandbox team will be asked to vote for their 3 favorites among all the submissions. Sandbox artists that did not participate will also be asked to vote. I believe that would be afterwards. So then the landowners will be asked to vote as well. These are people whom, after all, will be potentially purchasing the assets to build experience around their lands. It is important to get more involved in the voting process. So landowners who want to will vote for what they want to see on their properties. So an asset that has a lot of potential for use in a game, we want that to get promoted also. And then additionally, we will be selecting one honorable mention each week that the Sandbox team absolutely loves, or something that stuck out to us and went above and beyond, but did not win or receive credit where it's due. So we've had some really amazing submissions. There's been some times where I think there should be like 3 honorable mentions in previous contests. just some really great stuff that didn't get the votes that that they deserved. Maybe they were submitted late, or maybe they just didn't get a lot of attention. So we definitely want to give everybody a fair chance and promote our artists, because all you guys are amazing. All right. So next thing, morning, Cozy. Well, I guess it's afternoon for me. It's 1:15 where I am right now. So we have this blockchain, I guess you want to call it a playlist or just a list of articles on the Sandbox Medium page. And this is all about the NFTs, the gems and catalysts, the lands, the assets, how to set up your wallet and connect it to your account. So if you don't know a lot about crypto, I am not a crypto expert. And really, the Sandbox is my first adventure into cryptocurrency and blockchain, anything really. These articles will help give you a lot of information. Some of it has more advanced stuff that might go over my head, about specific ERC numbers and contracts and things like that. You too, Ramshorn. Yeah, that's that's one of the big goals for the Sandbox, is educating people about cryptocurrency and blockchain, and that's why we've been so focused on getting into schools to educate students, because blockchain is becoming a really big thing with a lot of industries. So it's good for as many people as possible to get educated about how it works, what it is, and so it's not just some scary tech term that people are afraid to touch. So Sandbox is really about making blockchain accessible to everybody. So these articles will help out. We just shared that in the chat, so definitely check these out. All right. And we're actually going to watch the part of Sebs Ask Me Anything from a few weeks ago now, I think it was. I don't remember exactly when this happened. I'm actually going to move it over so you guys can still see the chat. There we go. That looks pretty good, right? So we're going to watch through this together, and I might pause at a few points to add my input on some things. I know there's one specific part that I want to mention some stuff. So if you didn't get a chance to check out this Ask Me Anything, I believe the entire thing is on the Sandbox game channel. I don't know if we can share that link in the chat for the entire length of it, but we're gonna watch this together, and there may be some specific points that I point out. So let me just make sure the audio levels are good here.
All right, so hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for joining today live AMA about the Sandbox. My name is Sebastien Borget. I'm the CEO and co-founder of...
But it's playing at 2x speed. Let's put that back to normal, so we're not talking like chipmunks here. We'll get through the video really fast. So this is about half an hour. So if you're just joining, make sure to enter the contest, because at 2 o'clock, which is in about 45 minutes, 41 minutes, we're going to give away a sand fountain. So join in at twitch.tv/thesandboxgame. Type !fountain in the chat to enter that. Yeah, that was very highly caffeinated, Sebastian. I'm working on that myself because I'm feeling a little bit slow today. So we're gonna watch through this Ask Me Anything, and when we're done with the Ask Me Anything, we're going to give away that sand fountain. We'll start another giveaway because we're doing 3 today. We don't have a lot of viewers today, maybe because it's a Wednesday. So be sure to share this on social media. If we get up to 100 viewers, we will be giving away a land, which is worth about $50. And anytime we get over 100 viewers, we're going to be giving away a land. So it's everybody wins when we get more viewers. After this, we're going to open up the game maker and we're going to take a look at building some traps that you guys asked me about back a couple weeks ago. So stick around for that.
All right, so hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for joining today live AMA about the Sandbox. My name is Sebastien Borget. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Sandbox. The Sandbox, for those of you who are not familiar, is a decentralized virtual gaming world on the Ethereum blockchain where creators can make 3D voxel assets and game experience and monetize them through the use of non-fungible tokens and our cryptocurrency Sand. I'm here today with you for about 1 hour, and it'll be my pleasure to answer any question you have on the project. We'll be showing some videos while I answer those questions, and I hope you will get a chance to learn more about the Sandbox, as well as potentially be more excited about what we are building, our vision. We are one of the builders of the metaverse, and potentially participate in our upcoming land pre-sale, the Moonsale. All right, so let's get started. Who has a question first? All right, the first question is, when will be Sand available? So this is indeed something, Sand tokens, it's an important part of the Sandbox ecosystem. The Sand token will be, it is a utility token that will serve as an access pass to the Sandbox platform, allowing the players to play games, to buy equipment for their avatar, allowing the land creators, game creators to buy the lands, to rent land to other creators, allowing to buy trade assets on our marketplace using our marketplace of assets, which is using the ERC 1155 standards, allowing creators to publish their games as well. So the Sand token will be available hopefully by the end of this year, as soon as we're able to launch the full platform to the public, because we want to make sure that once Sand token is available, it will provide a utility directly to the users on the Sandbox platform. We got here, another question. Will Sandbox be mobile ready at launch? So the vision of Sandbox is to be multi-platform. We are a 3D multiplayer, multi-platform, blockchain-enabled game. So we definitely think mobile is important. Our background comes from mobile. We've been the previous version of the Sandbox, since it's an IP that exists since 2012, I've been on iOS and Android initially. And player will be on as many platforms as possible. From the launch, though, it might be a bit difficult. So what we are doing right now, our plan is to have our game maker on PC and Mac. We are aiming to have a beta version by August this year, and the public version in December. On the game player side, we are aiming to have the game player public beta in December this year on PC and Mac. Afterwards, we'll be providing more platform, and we'll be working to have the mobile version of the game player in 2021. So
sorry, I don't know what happened there. Let's get back to that.
I think the game player public beta in December this year on PC and Mac.
Audio just cut out for a second.
Afterwards, we'll be providing more platform, and we'll be working to have the mobile version of the game player in 2021. So this is a question from Gundam ZZ. So that's a great question, I think. are we still looking for artists to create assets? Many found it is a slow process. Some are waiting more than 1 month without any answer. Is there a way to fasten the application process? So first, let me apologize if we haven't been able to answer all the artist requests in time. The team has been busy and we have seen a large demand, whereas the way we are interacting with the artist and we onboard them didn't scale up. So yes, the answer is yes. The creator fund that we have put in place on Sandbox platform to incentivize to create amazing content that can be now seen uh, on our marketplace. I'll try to stream it afterwards. You will see the quality. What is We have put in place a structure with leads. So we create small units of artists with leads. Each unit is about 5 to 10 artists, and the team lead is a senior artist that has been working closely with us for some time and that prepares the new artist to be trained, onboarded, etc., to the creation process. However, because it's still a manual process and it takes time, we are working on providing more and more documentation, more and more templates within Vox Edit, which is an amazing feature. So you don't need to work on any animations, rigging, etc., so that artists can work faster, can make more content, the production of asset can be scaled, and there is less human work needed to have artists make asset and submit those assets to the creator fund for approval. We are mostly, if in case you see you don't get a reply soon enough by email, I like to say that the best channel to reach us out still is Discord for the artists and the creators community. Our community management team, Rodrigo, Aminata, Nathan, etc., and all the ambassadors of Sandbox, which I would like to thank today for all their help and support. They are amazing. They are super responsive on Discord. So that's really the best place to reach us through in case you want a fast interaction with our team. That's just also, it blows my mind.
So I wanted to add my 2 cents to the creator fund stuff. So as some of you probably know, I'm the manager for freelance artists in the creator fund. So me, along with Seb and Rodrigo and some of the others, we see your applications when they come in. So this past week or so, since I got back from vacation, I've been helping organize the application process. And if you tried joining, if you applied in June and you have not received a reply yet, then you're in the list. Pretty much everybody except for like the past couple days will have received a reply. So from the beginning of June on, we're making sure to reply to every single email or every single application. If it was before June and you have not received a reply yet, I would suggest reapplying. Make sure to put your best voxel artwork in the application. Even if rejecting applications, we are making sure to let everybody know, so that way you know the reason why. So sometimes we get people who are really great artists who apply, but they have no 3D graphics experience, no pixel art or voxel art experience. And so we don't accept the applications then. We suggest that they take a look at the kind of artwork we're doing in the sandbox and that they reapply later. So I would suggest that if you do want to apply, make sure you put some voxel art in there. There's been a few artists that have had just really great 3D graphics or pixel art portfolios that we've accepted without voxel art, but usually we want to see some amount of voxel art because that's what the whole game is made in. So it's best to see what you can do in that medium. So yeah, whether you get rejected or accepted, we do let you know why, and we make a recommendation on what you can do to what you should do if you want to reapply later on with some more practice. Yeah, so anytime after June, you either did or will soon get an email. Anytime before June, I'd recommend reapplying if you haven't heard back. Ramshorn asks, are there certain types of assets Sandbox is looking for most that would get you more noticed? Not exactly, because we're making all sorts of stuff. We're making anything that you would use in a game. So we're doing props, buildings, characters, monsters, all sorts of stuff like that. So I would suggest, if you do not have a lot of voxel art already made, I would suggest starting with the templates, because a lot of the assignments that we give are from the templates. So we'll ask you to make NPCs and heroes and stuff. If sorry, I saw Michael's question and we still live? I think we're still live, right? Let me know in the chat if we're not live anymore, because I'll need to fix something. If we okay, good. Yeah, we're watching a video, and I'm taking questions on the question and answer basically. We've got about 20 more minutes or so of this. Might be the Matrix though. It could be. We're stuck in the metaverse somewhere. Yeah, as far as assets go, whatever you're interested in, because we do, after people join, we do have a form that we have people fill out. I'm down here. You can say what kind of stuff you're interested in. So if you're in a group, your group leader will try to give you assignments that are based on what your interests are in. You will you might not always get exactly the kind of assignments you want if we have a specific sort of project to work on, because it's a job, it's a freelancing position, but for the most part we try to keep artists making what they're interested in. We've got so many good artists who do all sorts of different amazing things, so we'll take a look at those after the video. We'll take a look at some of the new stuff that people have been working on. Ramshorn asks, is this something that you could potentially do while also working a full-time job? Yeah. So for Creator Fund artists, we really only ask, the goal is a minimum of 10 assets a month. Some groups were a little more flexible on that, but the size of the assets kind of affect how much time it'll take. So along with that form that I mentioned, where you fill out what kind of projects you're interested in, you can also say what size projects you're looking at. So I know there's a few artists we have that are really interested in making big projects. They want to make this more of their full-time job, not necessarily full-time, but they wanted to make it more a part of their life. So they ask for bigger projects, like they're working on large buildings or vehicles, epic sized animals, things like that. So they're going to spend a lot more time on those projects. And as somebody who, this is more of like a hobby or like a side gig, they're not going to spend as much time in the week working on it. They might ask for small things like just doing like some small, simple human characters, some small props, things like that. So that can kind of, while we have the goal of 10 assets a month per artist, you can kind of, you can work with your group leader about how big you want to make those projects, and how much time you want to spend on them. And then for our really ambitious groups, sometimes we hit that 10 asset per artist goal, a couple weeks into the month, and you've still got the whole rest of the month. So your group can ask for more work to do. And we actually just these past couple months started a new reward program for our artists, where if the artist group reaches their goal, each artist actually gets a land bounty. So this is a great way to get our artists more involved with not just the modeling and animating aspect, but get them into the game making and metaverse parts of the sandbox. So we want to reward our groups that have been really productive, and where the artists have been collaborating and helping each other to get everything done on time. So that's been we've had at least one every month that's reached this goal. I think this month we're going to have at least 2 or 3. Oh, I know we're going to have at least 2, maybe 3. I'll find out tomorrow how much the groups got done. So that's been really exciting to see the groups get motivated by that. So hi Enrico. I think you just joined up, right? You're one of our newest artists. I think you're starting next month. And let's see. Were there any other questions before I continue the video? But yeah, back to Ramshorn's initial question as far as assets. I would take a look at what's in the marketplace now and see the quality and style. So you can see like these are small little gems. These are not something that should take more than like 20 minutes. And then you've got much larger assets like this crazy boat wreckage here. We got so much intricate detail going on in that. There's another one, the steampunk gate. This has some amazing animations on it. I don't know if they'll play correctly. Okay, so the animations don't always work in the web player, but in Vox Edit, these gears spin and the whole thing opens up, and it's really really incredible to watch. So maybe we'll pull that up later in Vox Edit, and you can see that in its true animated glory. Sometimes the web application is a little goofy. Enrico, but if I understand correctly, you are a programmer of Vox Edit. Is this possible? I am not a programmer really at all. I would say I'm a game designer for what I do in the Game Maker. Primarily, I'm an artist. So I started in the Creator Fund as an artist, just like everybody else. Then I started doing the tutorials for Vox Edit, and that got me more involved. And now I've taken on leadership roles within stuff. So I'm in charge of all the freelance artists. We've got about 50 or so of them. By next month, we'll probably have at least 60 or more. Yeah, that's actually Oni is our programmer on Vox Edit, and he's doing a great job. There's been some amazing updates, and I recently saw some new updates on the way. So lots of cool stuff coming. All right, and you're welcome, Ramshorn. Glad to help. So, hello everybody else who joined in. Make sure you enter the giveaway for the NFT. Type in !fountain in the chat. That only works on twitch.tv/the Sandbox Game. It does not work if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Periscope, anything like that. So make sure you go to the Twitch channel for those. All right, so let's keep on watching the video.
So, yep, putting here a link for display if you want to learn more, by the way, about our creator fund and how you, as an artist or as a creator, you can participate and start creating content in Sandbox and monetize your creation, then publish it on our marketplace. This is the URL you should look for. And I'm going to also do a quick switch here and show you some of the new content on our marketplace. Every day I'm so happy. I just go there, I see new content uploaded. You can preview all the animation. So the marketplace is a great teaser of all the amazing voxel assets that later will be used in the game maker. So it gives like a preview of what kind of game you can build just by looking at all those assets available on the marketplace. And we have all the time new content. So now we have added like those small biped humans, various creatures and decoration from different themes. Like this is, I believe, some sort of prehistoric, a saber tooth animal. And Just 2 days ago, it was all on the space field. Let's move to the next question. Hope this answers your question. Moving to the next question. Oh yes, line. All right. Yes. It's amazing. Like every day, I see all the creation from the different artists and game makers that are using our product, and that's just also it blows my mind. The space field. Let's move to the next question from Slane 2010. Are you onboarding people who are already designing in the game? Is that the fastest way to get noticed? So it is true that when it is faster, the onboarding process is a little bit faster indeed if you have already made the effort on your side to download Vox Edit, to try it out, to show some content you made with it, so that our existing team who review all the applications, they can make sure that you have some experience, at least making content, or you have some potential to become an amazing artist with us. So I would highly recommend, as a first step for application, to also spend 1 hour, 2 hours with the software, try it out, and include in your application the content you made to showcase what you can do. So this is a question from Loading9. For the game maker, what programming language will it be using? Well, the answer is simple. No programming at all. Like at the moment, this game maker is no code, which means that you don't need any programming skills in order to make the game. All the assets that are found in the library, they already come with pre-made behaviors. So you just drag and drop them on the scene, and they will already have their main interaction and behaviors. However, it's already highly customizable. So you can tweak the different parameter of the behavior. You can add a component, you can edit the logic, and the possibilities are already really, really advanced. So we are putting on our YouTube channel every week, we are putting new videos showcasing examples of games. On the Twitch stream every Tuesday and Saturday that Camisose, Alex Flores is doing, he's explaining some of the mechanics he's using, and just by watching those videos, you will see the depth of the Sandbox Game Maker tool. And it's just getting started because it's just the alpha version. So more to come soon. Hello, Xavier Brito. So when we will make a game in Game Maker, how can we make the content style of the game as FPS and mobile? That's a great question. So making a game has essentially two aspects. One is the content, the 3D models that you use, etc. And the other is like the gameplay logic, or what we call the 3C, the characters control the camera. In the case of first-person shooter, as the title says, it's a first person. And in Sandbox Game Maker, you can already tweak with the camera. So you can decide if you want to be like first person, third person, and you can change the distance of the camera with the avatar to play and making various effects, whether it's a very close-up or it's quite far. We find it's already interesting because then you can make almost like FPS shooter. However, the current alpha version has the behaviors available in the current alpha version do not allow yet some of the mechanics of FPS and MOBA. So we are working in implementing some of these requirements so that indeed it will be much, much easier for all the creators to make this kind of game, which we know everyone loves and wants. So we are working on it. I think it will be coming in the next upcoming months.
So I'm going to answer Michael's question in the chat here. Any thoughts on the adoption trajectory over time, next couple of years? Like how many users have been picking this up and becoming active? Well, I, being an artist and designer, I'm not really involved in the numbers of how many users we have and that aspect of it, but I can tell you that before this was probably like a month ago, before some of the moon sales, there were already over 1,500 landowners, which is a lot of people. I'm sure there's even more now that we've had a couple moon sales since then. So that's already, the game hasn't come out yet. The game maker is in alpha, the art editor is in beta, and we've already got 1,500 people who are about to start making content, like who will be able to get into early access for the game maker and start making levels. That's already a lot of people working on stuff for the game, and making some really cool stuff. That's actually one of the purposes of this stream is we hope every week that I'll start being able to show what other people are making, because so far it's mostly been me showing what I've made and what a few of the other artists or level designers have made. So really we're going to start seeing a lot more things, and that's something I actually forgot to mention when I was talking about the Vox Edit contest, the artwork contest on the forum at the beginning of the stream, is that we do want to start having weekly or probably every other week contests, like game jams, and having more people involved in that. So I think you're going to see a lot more users that see the games that are coming out, and I think it's just going to snowball. So I believe the mobile games had millions of downloads. I don't remember what the numbers are. Maybe Gorilla Jacket in the chat knows that number off the top of his head. But with millions of downloads for the mobile games, I think that this game is going to have even bigger of an audience because not everybody has a smartphone, but most people will have a computer that will at least be able to play this, even if they're not able to make the games. And then eventually, I think he said, Seb said sometime in 2021, we're looking at a mobile player for the game. So, I mean, you're just going to have a huge potential user base. And hi, Pepe. Good to see you on here. And Michael said, "Thank you." And yes, I'm getting psyched about using the Game Maker. Glad. I'm really enjoying creating in it. I think that's the biggest thing is that the Game Maker is just fun to use. I mean, it feels like you're playing Minecraft sort of when you're creating in it. And then you can do all sorts of different things. And with each new version, there's going to be more and more features coming out. So it's fun to build, it's fun to play, and I think that's really going to give the game a good longevity as far as people picking it up and having a big user base, and how long the game maker will, the sandbox metaverse will last. Hopefully it goes on for a really long time. I mean, people have been playing Minecraft for more than 10 years now. I've been playing Minecraft for more than 10 years, not a lot lately, but we're seeing these games having a real lasting power when they keep updating over the years. Gorilla Jacket said is 30 million between the first two titles. That's a lot of downloads. So, and that was just mobile. So you're talking about a free PC game that lets you play games that other people have made and lets you build your own games. I think I would not be at all surprised. Plus, with names like Atari and Square Enix, in the Square Enix supporting the Sand token, Atari and Shaun the Sheep and a whole bunch of others bringing their IPs into the actual game world. I mean, we're talking about a lot of attention on that stuff. Peel off some folks from Roblox. Yeah, that's kind of the market we're going for. We want the people who enjoy Minecraft and enjoy Roblox. This should be right up their alley. And we're trying to unlock a lot of possibilities for them, along with making all this stuff ownable. I mean, you can do play to earn stuff with this. So, playing in the game is going to allow you to unlock things that will let you sell things in the market and stuff. So there's going to be it's not just going to be a free to play game. There will be some free to play, some pay to play. There's going to be all sorts of different things going on. So there's going to be something for everybody here. Yeah, there's always dinner to cook. I know what that's like. Yeah, just make sure to send me some pasta because I've only had breakfast. I haven't had lunch. Roblox? Well, I mean, this isn't Roblox. It's going to be different from Roblox in many ways, but I mean, I think the artwork that we have in this game is really stellar compared to the early Minecraft artwork and what Roblox currently has to offer. So Roblox is kind of all over the place with artwork. So anyway, we will get back to the video here.
Hello, Robert Ugandon. So I will say just Nederop because I know. Can you elaborate on the use of sound and music within the game maker and on our land? So this is a great question, and this is indeed a must. In every game maker, you can customize the different sound effects and music in your game. Some more advanced tool will even enable streaming of music, which I think will be part of an even greater social experience, which we are seeing in some games like Fortnite, as an example, where artists can start streaming their live concert, etc. Right now, the game maker that you're seeing with this video, it's still an alpha version. So it's not yet even beta. So we have a few basic sound available in a library, like that are being emitted by the different assets as we can configure them. We are working to provide a library of sound, free to use sound that every game creator can use in this game. And we are also reviewing if it makes sense that music and sound effects should be treated as a 3D asset and as such be tokenized and tradable resource among creators on our marketplace. This is still being defined. All right, next question. Woo, so hello VBX05. You're excited about Sandbox's huge number of partnerships. There are some established game developers like ATARI and Paladin Studio. Will their games be ready at launch? At the same time, I'm curious how Crypto Kaiju, MetaMask are going to utilize their land. Will they be building games as well? So it's a great question. We have in total over 50 partners, amazing partners in the Sandbox metaverse. Those partners include IPs, Shaun the Sheep, ATARI, brands, IPs and brands, game studios, ATARI, RollerCoaster Tycoon, Paladin Studio, Old School Games, Animoca brand, Pixel, and many major actors from the blockchain ecosystem, including MetaMask, Infura, MakerDAO, Dab.com, Bitski, DapReview, many other game developer as well, etc. So what we are working with the partner in order indeed to have them able to provide an experience at the launch of the platform. A key requirement to achieve that was to actually develop the tool that enabled them to create the experience and work with us, work also with our community of artists to provide the amazing content to be used together and create the content and the experience in those lands. So this has just been achieved with this alpha version of our game makers that just came out, I think, 2 days ago, and is now available for first creator and approved users. For some partners, it might seem less intuitive what kind of experience they are going to build, but I'm still very bullish that they will come up with something quite creative. For example, MakerDAO, they are going to build this DAI city where they will build different buildings, skyscrapers, and monuments, statues to the DAI. And as DAI perform some key milestone, they will unleash new building, etc. With Crypto Kaiju, it's more obvious and it's quite an interesting one. They are making vinyl toys attached to digital collectible with an NFT. So we made a collaboration with the dog Kaiju, which is one of their characters, and we will be it will exist both as a physical vinyl toy, and all the users, all the purchaser of this Kaiju will also receive an NFT in Sandbox, which they can use inside their land. And their land will be a showcase of all the Kaiju that have been turned into animated voxel characters within a land and a universe they imagine. MetaMask is more a technical partner who is going to help us onboard more easily users who will need a wallet and who will need to interact with both the NFTs and the Sand token on our platform. Altogether, having both partners for content and on the technical side, we hope that we will be able to reach to a larger audience. We will also hope to provide to those partners, brands, IP, studio, a place, a position, permanent position in our land, in our metaverse, for them also to interact with their own community, to come with our avatar, to chat with them in our 3D virtual world. We have, for example, DAP Radar, who is planning to establish their offices and desks inside Sandbox once we launch. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's really going to be very interesting what will be built with this. And we are going to announce more, even bigger gaming companies building games on Sandbox Metaverse. So we are a bridge for traditional large game studios also to publish experience in our Sandbox Metaverse and interact with blockchain, NFTs, and cryptocurrency. So hey, VBX05, one more question from you. In the future, when we want to mint a new NFT, is there any requirement? For example, must we need gems or catalysts in order to do so? So that's a great question. The gems and catalyst, which we haven't talked about yet today, but I'm very interested to explain. So let me load the article here and I'll stream it in the background. Yeah, everyone can see here. All right, cool. We have a little video. So gems and catalysts, those are tokens. They are most likely going to be ERC20 tokens, fungible tokens, that are powering the value system in Sandbox. This value system, you're going to find it in the marketplace, in the game player and the game maker. It's really important. As a creator, when you upload your 3D model from Vox Edit to the marketplace, you have a screen where you get to choose which gem and which catalyst to apply. And that will define essentially the attribute of your asset, meaning whether all the different points, as well as it will define the rarity, the scarcity of this asset. So first you need to select a catalyst. There are 4 catalysts: common, rare, epic, and legendary. The common catalyst has always 200 copies and only 1 socket for a gem. So meaning that you can place only one of those 5 attributes, power, defense, magic, speed, and luck, to assign points, 25 points, to one of those 5 attributes. With common catalyst is actually, you don't need any, it's the default one. So you don't need a catalyst indeed. You don't need any gems also. You can decide to mint the token with no attribute at all. And then it's an interesting feature because it means that if the creator doesn't assign a gem to one of those sockets, anyone who buys a copy of that asset then has an available socket where he can decide by itself which attribute, which gem and which attribute to apply, which will give them the possibility to mint their own variation of this creation. So to give you a concrete example, if I have one legendary catalyst, I can mint a very unique asset. There will be only one copy. There are 4 sockets, but if I fill only 2 of 4, it means I'm leaving room for the buyer to customize 2 of the 4 attributes as he wants. So in a sense, it's also a feature to not define as a creator which attribute points you want to put to your asset. We give the best of the both worlds. As a creator, you can either set yourself this, and then the players and creators will just follow, or you give the opportunity for the buyer of your asset to customize it itself. Question? We've had a lot of comments already. I've seen a good amount. Hello, Trophy Dolphin. So, are there any plans to expand the land past the currently existing land, possibly new planets? So, at the moment, we've made the promise that the total metaverse is 464 land, and there will be never any much more land available. So my answer to this is currently no. There's no plan for any expansion of our land. We think there's already a lot of space available for the creators, and let's see what can be made within this space. Hey again, Gclickly. So will we be able to walk on the map across the land, or will it not be a teleportation system between games? Will Sandbox be an open world? That's a very interesting question, which relates to how do we travel in the Sandbox world, how do we enter worlds in our metaverse. So the first entry point to any world of Sandbox Metaverse is the map. The map has a search engine, which we are currently working on, where you'll be able to discover the different games, and you click and it will launch the game player, which will bring you and your avatar, which will be an NFT as well, your customizable character, to enter this game or this land. Some lands will be like the Sandbox lands, the one with the blue square Sandbox logo on the map, are actually social hubs, lobbies, where all the players can connect together and they'll be able to chat, socialize, interact with each other. Some are straight games, which will, depending on the desires and the creativity of creators, will be either single player or multiplayer experience. When you join those lands, our approach to multiplayer is actually instance-based multiplayer. So like when you play Fortnite, when you play Counter-Strike, you have those server rooms. Each server room has 32, 64 players capacity. And when it's full, it's another instance of the same land, of the same world, where a new set of 32 to 64 players can come and play. So at the moment, we are not a single open virtual world where you can travel from one end to another end. The multiplayer is essentially instance-based, so you are not going to see, as you are inside a game, what is happening outside on either the other multiplayer instances or outside of this land. This is, by the way, what is the most common in the most played video games, because it's quite technically challenging. It's an N-square problem to have large virtual worlds with number of players that interact, and each player can see what's happening to the N-1 other players and broadcast the change to each one of them. So it's too complex technically at the moment to have very active virtual world, open virtual world for gaming. That's why it's usually often limited to just social interaction, like chatting, walking, but not fully gameplay. It's too intensive in computation. We will have teleportation system with portal. So in your land, you can place a portal, and this portal can either let you travel to the neighbor land or to any land further that you define at your choice. So the sandbox lobbies and hubs will also allow you to to be teleported into the game experience that we will be featuring and promoting among our creators. Some could be winners of our contest, etc.
So Cozy had some good questions in the chat, which I'll address. So yes, Ramshorn was correct. It does 64 players per land, but that's per instance of land. So the plan is that if you have like a multiplayer game, so let's say you make a first-person shooter, which should be possible in the future. I don't want to say should, it will be possible in the future. I mean, the only thing that's missing right now is a shooting mechanic. So I mean, it's definitely going to be in there. The goal is that each land will be able to run multiple instances, which is the whole point of them having a price tag attached to them, is that they're going to be taking up server space and that they're going to be publicly accessible. So you're getting a lot of value out of that investment in buying the land. If you're just making single player experiences, you don't really need to necessarily publish them on a land. You can just share that game file, and anybody with the game maker will be able to load it up and play it as long as they can access the assets. So you might need to publish assets to the marketplace if you're using any custom assets. But besides that, all they need is the land file, which will download the assets from the marketplace that are needed to play the game. So they will. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Multiplayer. So for a multiplayer instance, you'll get 64 players, which would be enough to do something like a battle royale game if you wanted to. And multiple instances of that game can run. So it's not like once a match starts on that land, nobody else can join. Once a match starts, another instance can start, and you could have. I don't think there was any limit stated. I mean, you could have like 10 instances of your game running, for 600 people all playing your game at once. They'll just be in groups of 64, in different instances of it running. Is the giveaway stopped? I don't believe so. Is it not updating? I see there's 5 people in it right now. And I see 5 people in there. Did you try joining Azrael and it didn't work? I didn't see if you typed. You might have to say only. Try typing fountain, exclamation point fountain, and don't say anything else in it, because I saw some people were putting other messages in there, and that might prevent you from. It says message must contain that text, so you might be able to say, huh, that's weird, because I don't see your name in there either. I don't see any reason why it would have stopped. I can tell that they're on Twitch. You do have to be watching from the Sandbox channel. You can't be watching from my channel. Little technical snafu here. You're twitching. Huh. Chat has been watched for. What? Huh, that's weird. Let me. Well, we're doing multiple giveaways, so we'll just do this giveaway now, and the first 5 people who joined, and then we'll start up the next one. I'm not sure what's going on with the giveaway tool. A couple weeks ago, it was down, like for more than a week. Just it wouldn't like start. So, No winners were picked. Lost connection. What? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna restart the giveaway, and I guess it timed out or something. I don't understand what happened. Okay, guys, I just restarted the giveaway. Go ahead and enter now. I'll give you till the rest of the video. So we got 5 minutes left, less than 5 minutes. So try entering in now, and then we'll do the giveaway as soon as this video is done. I'm sorry about that. I don't. This giveaway tool sometimes is a little goofy. I see your name's loading in now, so yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Was there a question? Did that answer the questions about multiplayer enough? Will the server be able to sustain a large population of users? Yes. I mean, that's going to be the ultimate goal here. Just knocking things over. I don't know what the total population is going to look like, but if the mobile games had a combined 30 million users, we're probably expecting tens or hundreds of thousands of concurrent users at least around launch time. So hopefully it handles that. I'm confident that there's going to be a lot of testing and stuff going on to make sure that that's all going to work. So I don't know what the population initially is going to look like, but if we're doing lands as instances, it's going to be easier to scale that because it's not like you have one map with one game where everybody's in the same place all at once. You're going to have even the hubs of the sandbox hubs where everybody's going to be loading in at the start of the game. That's going to break off into multiple instances, so that's going to be spread across things. I'm not sure how it's going to work if you're going to be able to meet up with friends or anything like that. That's where we're kind of like we're not quite there yet. I know the development team is working on behind the scenes multiplayer integration into the game maker, so it's still going to be a while even for people in the game maker early access before we start seeing multiplayer features added. But I know that's something that they're currently working on developing, is what the back end for that is like, because as we move on further in the alpha and the beta for the game maker, that's going to be important. So you can't see the screen. Turtles are awesome says I can't see the screen. I'm not sure which screen you're referring to. Is there no video? Everything looks like it's up from my end, so I'm gonna keep on playing the video. But if you can't see anything, I would suggest refreshing the Twitch page and see if that does the trick.
And is there a progression system within this game? And if there is, what does a progression lead or to or reward player with? This is really, but this comes back to the previous question. And this is why we often compare the Sandbox virtual world metaverse to, we say it is like a light MMORPG. So yes, we are thinking on progression system, quest, even guild and clans. These are the premise of things that require social goals, community engagement, and rewards as well behind that will trigger the circular economy between players and creators, landowners, curators, artists in our virtual world. So let's see. Will particle effect system be implemented in Vox Edit and Game Maker? That's a great question, and we see that in a lot of MMO games or game makers. You can play with particles, you can play with all the different visual effects. So we're definitely working on adding some juice. Probably if you watch the videos, you can see that this is already the case. Like when the characters walk, there's this little dust. We're also working on lighting effects, cameras, etc. For us, it seems it's a detail, but it's quite important in bringing even more visual feedback and juice to make the experience interesting. So here you can see as the character runs, there's already some small voxel particle coming that. And I believe we've made great progress over the last week with this new alpha version, and there will be even more coming in the next version. Oh, hello again, ZL090. So, will matchmaking system be made readily for multiplayer when the game launch? So, we will not launch the Sandbox game player without the multiplayer. For us, it is a must-have feature. We should be able to have several players coming in one of our Sandbox lobbies and interact. Now, we will, so that is important for all the social interaction, the gameplay, chatting, etc. I guess by matchmaking, how you refer to a system that allows to put players together into a same multiplayer instance, whether they are geographically close by, so the network performance is better for them, or based on their level of let's say it's a character level 90 will not be matched with a player's character level 1, because then it will be easy for the level 1 to be defeated by the level 90. So this is something quite common in all MMORPG. We'll work on that with our multiplayer and backend team to make sure that the matchmaking for the multiplayer games is always the best. And we'll work also on the social discovery to make sure that it's not necessarily excluding people to meet new people and always match the top of the player with the top of the player. So it's a balance we have to find, but we hope it will be ready at launch, yes. All right, hello, Gilzar8. Is it possible to connect two parcels that are not adjacent? Can I go from one to another in gameplay via portal or something? That's a great question. One of the way we thought was via portals, so the character could travel to one to another. But we would need to review how you can make like a continuous play between two physically distant parcels. The simplest way we are thinking is to create some sort of levels or like progression. So imagine it's like Super Mario or just Mario, and usually you have all those levels, and when you finish one, you need to move to the next one, etc. So you can define some sort of progression, like, oh, I finished the game. In order to access the second land, which is the further away, you have to complete first the first one, and then you can potentially create a progression, a game that is scattered across many lands that you need to finish in a certain order, and then generating a progression, generating a story, like sort of like RPG mode. I think it will already open a lot of possibilities.
All right. So, Pepe, I don't know if that last bit answered your question, but I'm gonna go with Sentinel's question first, and we're also gonna do the giveaway. So while I'm answering his questions, any last minute people who want to get into the giveaway, make sure you're on twitch.tv/the Sandbox Game and type !fountain in the chat. So Sentinel asks if at any time the visual tools that I would need to make my game don't exist within the given tools by you, would I be penalized for implementing my own programs? So at this point, there's no possibility for adding in other things into the Game Maker. That may or may not be a possibility in the future. So the way the Game Maker currently works is using things called behaviors, and we've actually got some new tutorials that I just finished making yesterday, which we're going to premiere here towards the end of the stream in about what time is it? It's almost 2:30, so we're going to take a look at those in about an hour and 30 minutes or so. Um, so the the behaviors, the assets when you put them in the game maker, to make them do things, you turn on behaviors for them. So you have an avatar behavior, you have plant behavior, you have an animal behavior. So the animals will eat the plants. There's predator animals that will eat the other animals. And so these are pre-built chunks of logic. So what the plan is for later on is you're going to be able to do custom logic blocks. So if you can imagine something like Game Maker or RPG Maker with their visual scripting, having chunks of logic like in a timeline and having branching logic and things like that, there will be a feature like that. What we have right now is kind of like those are just kind of hard coded right now, so you can't really reorganize the chunks of logic. You can just change what the settings within them are, so you can set custom values, and we'll take a look at that in the game maker a little bit too, in just a few minutes here. The After the visual scripting is done using these logic chunks, there may be more features added to do actual scripting. So everything in the game maker right now is built in Unity. I'm not sure if it's using C#. I think that's usually what Unity uses. Coding is not really my thing. But if there's a lot of success with the visual scripting, all those chunks, there may be more features added on to put in custom code. So I don't think you'll, if the feature is enabled to let you build your own things into the game maker, you're not going to be penalized for them. But how much of this is going to be like a walled garden or sandbox to be punny, I'm not sure exactly how many features from Unity you'll actually be able to carry over yet. For the time being, it's none. And we'll see how things progress and what the demand is for features. So hopefully that answers your question, Sentinel. There's more comments, and I'm losing the question I was trying to look at. Pepe asks, will it be possible to have, for example, a large estate map that connects all 144 lands in one game? That would be a 12 by 12 land. Can we build partial maps and merge them afterwards? So the current game maker supports 4 by 4 lands, so a 16 land estate. As far as building connected lands and stuff, so there is the possibility already. Well, I don't think it's been implemented yet, but the ability to merge lands into irregular shaped estates, I think, was announced a couple months ago with the land contest. As far as connecting that many lands into one, I think you're thinking of building like a Skyrim kind of game where you can walk from one corner of the map to the other without any like loading in between. I don't know enough about how the land instancing works to really give a good answer on that. I think that would be a good question next time there's an Ask Me Anything. I remember seeing a long time ago, and lots of things have changed since I've seen this, that there was going to be a limit on the game maker for doing the 4x4 lands, which is currently what it has. Whether or not you're going to be able to connect those lands up into one game, I really can't speak to that. So that would be a good question for Seb next time they have an AMA. Let's see. The ability to examine an object would do well for logic in the game maker. I'm sorry, Chosen. I'm not sure what exactly you mean by that. By like looking at an object within within the game, kind of like you can pick something up and it like shows in front of the screen. Um, you might need to clarify that question for me a little bit. Ram's Horn says, "Are vehicles the user avatar can climb on, get inside on the roadmap for the game maker? If so, how far off are they? I've got some ideas involving vehicles." So that is in the plan. Whether you like get in the vehicle and then kind of like disappear, or if you're like riding on it directly. I don't know that that's in the roadmap quite yet. I think we're trying to get the first and third person like platformer, shooter, action RPG mechanics down first. I do know that we have partners, specifically Crypto Motors. I think Crypto Motors is a partner. I might be wrong on that. I thought they were a partner, but I know that they at least have bought a good chunk of land. Crypto Motors wants to build racing games in the sandbox, and then we've got things like ATARI doing RollerCoaster Tycoon. You might have people like riding in roller coaster carts and stuff like that. So those are features that are definitely planned. As far as when exactly we'll see them in the game maker, I don't have a that detailed of a timeline to say those kinds of things. So we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so I answered Pepe's question. Zoom in and levitate an object. So yeah, that would be cool to be able to do that. It'd be nice to examine things in the game. That's definitely something that we can suggest. There's I don't know if Gorilla Jacket can get this link. There should be a feedback thing. I know there's at least on the Discord, if you're part of the early access, you can give feedback for the game maker. I think I saw an email about that earlier, actually. So yeah, we do want that kind of feedback to do this kind of things. Okay, all right, let's stop this giveaway because it's counting away. And Cynthia sent one. Did you win one already? I mean, there's no limit here, but Cynthia sent got a land. Not a land. I'm sorry. Ignore that. Got a fountain. Wow. I'm talking too fast. My brain's not keeping up. So we are going to restart the giveaway, and we're giving away 3 of these fountains today, one for each hour. We're a little bit late on this one, but we're gonna put down Cynthia set. All right, we've only got 6 viewers right now. Where'd you guys all go? Fun part's about to start. So we'll take a look at some of these these assets here. So what our people in the game maker in the creator fund have been doing lately, we've been doing a lot of steampunk. So we've got these awesome steampunk details, gates. They've been doing some fantasy stuff. We've got Excalibur. There were actually 2 Excaliburs this month, different ones. And keep in mind that like these quantities, these 200, that means that only 200 people will be able to buy this. So there's always going to be a demand for new things like, chairs and tables and things like that. So when something sells out, somebody's going to have to design a new one. It'll keep things interesting for artists who will constantly have something to do. We've got Wild West stuff in the plan, so we've got a whole bunch of Wild West carts and houses. We've got some traditional Japanese architecture and artwork things going on, lanterns, banners. There's some more Wild West stuff. We've been having some people do cyberpunk things. And yeah, Azrael's looking for cyberpunk stuff, so definitely we'll keep on doing more cyberpunk things. Got the Plague Doctor, that could be cyberpunk. Or not cyberpunk, could be steampunk. And we've got treasure chests. I believe I'm not sure if it's this one or another one, actually like gets up and jumps like a mimic from Final Fantasy. Some more houses. Into all these browns. These are all by William Santa Cruz, who is actually the voxel artist that got me into voxel art when I saw his videos on YouTube. You can see we've got the new large humanoid asset template. We've got these giants going on. William stuff is pretty great. I agree. If it wasn't for William, I probably would not be talking to you right now. I would not have I kind of knew about voxel art before, but I didn't know about Magic of Voxel. Seeing William's videos doing Super Mario Brothers fan art in Magic of Voxel, I was like, this is like a thing people do. Like, I knew people played in Minecraft, but I didn't know people like made like really nice renders out of this stuff, and that really like got me really into this about almost 3 years ago now. 2.5 years ago, something like that. Got some cool burning assets. This bunny is pretty funny. I don't know if the animation will play right. The animations don't always look right in the web player, but this one's got like a crazy like attack. I can't like zoom out enough, but the bunny will like lunge at you and then flip back. It's pretty awesome. John Kearney is another great one, and Zach Soares. Yeah, they're all those are the guys that I've been looking up to this whole time, and now I'm kind of like working in a similar position to them, and I'm just like I'm blown away that I have this opportunity to work here, and I'm hoping that in the creator fund that we get lots more people in the creator fund who are going to start their voxel careers here. It's really exciting stuff. So let's open up the game maker and let's make some cool stuff. This is where the fun starts. In case I know maybe that video was a little bit long, but I think there were some good questions in there that we were able to answer. So we're gonna open up the maze dungeon. I like to, in my head, I call it Gauntlet, but that's not what I actually named the level. It's just called Maze. We're gonna open that up, and we're gonna make some more traps. So this was way back before vacation. That feels like forever ago now. It was like 2 weeks ago. Some traps that were asked about was doing spike traps, swinging axes, launch platforms, and boulders. So we'll see what we can do in half an hour. Maybe a little more. We'll go like 45 minutes and see what we can make. I didn't have I was so busy making these new Game Maker tutorials, which we're going to show after this, that I didn't really have time to make these before, but I have a good idea of how we want to make these. So in case you've never seen this level before, we'll do a quick little playthrough, and I can show you what we've already made. So initially this started out as an idea for doing a Pac-Man kind of level, and we made it a little more freeform. So we've got a couple different ways of navigating through this maze. We're trying to get to the treasure in the center, and we can open up these gates. And I think there's a skeleton around here somewhere that's going to try to attack me. Maybe not. So we set up a detonator. And if you remember from previously, this detonator sends out a message to remove this mossy cobblestone kind of block, and the TNT block here. It gets rid of both of those. And there's two separate, because of some weird things, it became a little more complicated than it needed to be, but we click that and boom, those disappear. So I think, oh, there's that skeleton I was thinking of. So I think there's not really much else for us to look at over here, because that actually just kind of puts us back where we started. It's a little loop. So the stuff that we're going to work on today, we're going to put down that way and make some more content for that side. And beware the contrary dragon. So if you remember, that means if the dragons are upside down, there's a trap there. Whoop. which deletes blocks and assets. So we can't get too close and touch that, or it will destroy us. Whoa! That skeleton had a death wish. I guess he's already dead, but ran straight back to that bomb, which deleted him. So yeah, that happens sometimes. And thank you. Yes, that's the link in the chat that just got posted is the feedback for the game maker. Whoop, I almost died. Because I'm not looking at where I'm going. Oh no, I died. We're gonna retry. If you just Leroy Jenkins it, you're safe. So you just run, and those blocks are still deleted. That's interesting. Okay, we made it. All right, so now we've got the lava trap. So when we pass through here, that lava is going to start pouring out, and we got to run to the end before it overtakes us. So run. And that lava spawning, okay, made it. That lava spawning does cause a little bit of lag, but whoop. And we had another suicide skeleton there. That's a good band name, right? Suicide Skeletons. Running right into the lava. So once that lava stops, the frame rate's going to get a little bit better. Perfect maze for a golem. So yeah, the golem would be a good asset in here also. The funny thing with the golem is that he doesn't have any legs, so it'd be a good thing to have like pop out of a wall that you have to get around, but it won't necessarily chase you. The difficult thing is with the predator behavior is that they do chase you, and I forgot you can't attack. So this is like a survival runner because you can't attack the skeletons. You have to run away from them. That was the Pac-Man inspiration. Okay, and then we had this little they really like to run on the lava, don't they? We had this little section here to get across, but we don't need to go that way because that would be going back to where we came from. It's just an alternate route, and there's really just more enemies to get past here. So yeah, in later versions of the Game Maker, there will be like fluid dynamics. The water will work a little bit more like Minecraft, spreading out and stuff like that. Instead of it just being like a solid block. So we've got all this space on this side that we can work with here. So let's do the easy one first, which I think is the spike trap. So spike trap, we would probably want a 2-stage it's going to be 2 objects. So one's going to be a moving object. So these aren't going to be so much traps as like a repeating. They're basically going to be like a swinging axe. So if we do a spear, that we need, and maybe a column. And that's really all we need to make the spike trap. And it's just going to be a repeating motion that we have to get past. So let's put it, we're going to get rid of this wall here because we want to actually make this side worth something. And we're going to have the spike traps kind of go zigzag in and out. So first thing is we need the object that's going to move. Or we can start with the spears and does it place them like that? Okay. So we want we'll do like 4. And we'll put them in like a zigzag pattern. So we placed 4, and then we can hold shift while we move it, and they will snap into position. And they should all be nicely lined up there. And we can rotate them a little bit so they're not like quite so even looking. And we'll even offset them a little bit like that. All right, so now we got some variety. Now we want basically the driver for them. This is going to be what moves them. Actually, I want them to stick further out to actually like cover this area. So we're gonna find a different. There's a better column that we can use. I know there is. That pillar is too big. Here we go. Ancient stone pillar. This should do the trick. That's nice. All right, and we want the decorative end out, so we're going to flip it around. And do that. And actually, just temporarily, I'm going to move the avatar over here so we can actually see what's going on. And we're going to move this guy over here so he doesn't bother us. And this one also. Just so we can see what's going on a little bit faster without having to run over here every single time. Actually, what does the top of that look like? I like the decorative side better. All right, so we make it overlap, but getting as much of the spear end as possible. And kind of center it between all of them. Okay. So now we want to go to our hierarchy panel over here. And all the new stuff should be way at the bottom. And we're going to make the spears be children of the pillar. So now when we move the pillar, those move along with it. And actually, this one's sticking out too far. So I'm going to connect it. There we go. All right. So now we've got our pillar. And these are going to come crushing in from the sides. Now that I think about it, we can make that a dead end. So we're going to give space for these to hide inside. So we want them like that. And we're going to erase there and there. And this way the pillars can cross. Like that. Looks pretty good, right? So it's going to come out like that far. Okay. So let's take a look at the position values here, and I'm going to write them down. So when we move it this way, it's moving on the x-axis, and it's going from, we'll just say 13.1 to 7.5. Quick math. 0.6, 12, 5. So it's moving 5.6. It's moving plus 5.6 when we do that. So we are going to we're going to get rid of that health component because we don't need that on a pillar. And we want collisions on. And we want the stone pillar to have a behavior of basic platform. And on the x-axis, it's going to move 5.6. And we want it to move really fast. And we'll leave that wait duration and see how we like it. Okay, we're going to save in case we get any crashes or anything. And we're going to take a look at how this pillar moves. And yeah, it's upset about some of the assets, but it's not a big deal. All right. So that doesn't move quite as fast as I was hoping, but that's the fastest that we can set it right now. That's not a bad speed in particular, but I was hoping for a more like kind of feel to it. We could kind of stack up multiple moving objects. So like one moves a parent of another one that's moving, so it kind of like accelerates it. But I don't think we want to do that with these pillars too much. So we're going to cover up the blocks here. There we go. Like that. And like that. All right. So, wait, did I delete it? Oh no, where'd all the spears go? What happened? They rotated. What? I don't know what happened there. Undoing's not fixing that, so that's unusual. Sometimes parented objects can be a little goofy. Huh. I'll have to bring that up with the developer, or with the feedback team, because I don't know what's causing that to happen. Okay, and we can also delete a layer further back, and we'll fill that in with a black block because we want it to kind of look like it's recessed there. Let's see. Do the bedrock block there. And oh, that wasn't on purpose. Okay. Fill that up. And now we can fill in this. Perfect. All right, we're going to, yeah, that looks better. That back. All right, and then we're going to make a deeper hole in here. All right. And one more layer? Yeah, one more layer. All right, and then we got to fill in this and this. All right. So Now, I don't know if duplicating this will work for the parenting aspect of it, but we can see. And did these moved back also? That's really weird that they would do that. Sometimes the gimbal or gizmo. Sometimes when you duplicate the object, it just doesn't work. Yeah, I haven't duplicated anything yet though, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happened there, but if you're having trouble selecting because the gizmo's getting in the way, you can use the selection tool and it disappears. I found that very helpful. All right, so let's set all of these to be a void. So these will be an insta-death. And we're not going to destroy any blocks. And we're going to only destroy from list. And component, edit logic. And we're going to destroy the avatar, which is jet. Okay. And 0 delay. And that should be everything we need for that. So I know we already made these, but it'll be faster to just duplicate them. You have to redo the logic for the situation on duplication. I mean, I don't usually have to, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's kind of the whole point of duplication, is being able to save the logic. And one more. And like that. How are we doing on time? Oh, we only got 10 minutes. We might only be able to do this one trap today, and then maybe next week we can do some more. All right, spin those around a little bit. Whoop. There we go. It's a nice, dangerous looking trap there. All right. So I'm going to save. And see what this trap looks like. I forgot to parent the other ones. That's fine. We can. That's easy to fix. And let's see what happens if it pokes me. It kills me. Oh no! I did what I was supposed to. Except, okay, there it goes. It took a second for the game to end. All right, so we just got to one of them rotated. Oh, it's the one that's parented got rotated weird. For some reason, having them as a child there doesn't quite work. So I guess we could have this be a crusher instead of spears, because the spears do not want to stay rotated the correct direction. So let's see if we can find a different object. Let's see. How did those... I just placed them on the ground, right? And it keeps rotating them down. Maybe it's because of the way I attach them or something. I'm not sure what's up there. So I'll have to bring that up with the dev team. But let's get an object that doesn't have to be pointy like a spear. Let's do... let's see... What do we got for tools here? Something where it doesn't matter what direction it goes. I guess we could just do a rock and have it have a crushing motion from the rock. Maybe nature. There we go. Nope. Decorations. Yeah, we'll use one of these. Whatever. So I think based on how far it's going to go, we're probably going to need to move the whole pillar a bit, but that's okay. Now, yeah, for some strange reason, the names all become wood after you play the game, but we know it's the last two. Okay, so that moves, and we're going to move it up to there. Let's see if that goes far enough. All right, and then we're going to make this avoid, get rid of the health, behavior, void. We're going to destroy no blocks, only destroy from list on start, and make it eject. And 0 delay. A save. Okay, play. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, so moves too far, so we can narrow the hallway. Or let's see how far it actually goes. If I narrow the hall by 1, and then we'll just set up a bunch of these, and we'll just make sure that the death aspect works. Nope. Apparently I got too close. I'm gonna retry. Or not. There we go. I hit the reset button and it didn't do anything. And the block rotated, but it still works. Okay. I think there's something with parenting it to a rotated pillar is possibly what it doesn't like. But we're going to duplicate, and we're going to flip this around, and we're going to move it over here and go up 1, 2. Reposition those slightly. I think if I move them without, well, that's actually where it belongs. So I don't know. I do not know what is going on with that. All right, and then I think we're gonna have to tell this to move -1, but let's yeah, we're gonna have to reparent that. So this one attaches to that one, and we're going to tell this to move negative. And we should also move it forwards a little bit. And move this one forwards a little bit. And we're going to build up this a little bit more. That. And now they should go across just fine. Crunch. Oh, I guess I didn't need to move them that far forwards. Let's see where they should stop. I think, yeah. So I can actually move those back to where they were. And that one needs to move up higher. All right, so we're going to move this guy up a little bit to here. And we can actually probably move that down a little bit. This one down a little bit. And we're going to move it 1, 2 steps back. 1, 2 steps back. All right, let's see how those overlap now. That block's way misaligned, but that kind of works. I'm gonna move that down. I thought it was gonna rotate into the correct position, but apparently not. And that can go up a little bit. All right. So to make this a little more interesting from a gameplay aspect, we can offset the wait duration. So if we make it, say, like 5, then they're not going to fire at the same time, and we kind of have to like find a safe time between them. So it's after 15, I think. So 15. It's going to take a couple tries before they both line up. Yep. So, I mean, we could jump over then. Yeah. Yeah, skeleton's showing off that he can run through things. Let's see if we can get him to get crushed. No? Oh, it'll only destroy me. It won't destroy the it won't destroy him because it's only set to destroy the avatar. Asset traps would do well. That would be pre-built and fully rigged. That would be cool, but I don't know that there's going to be as much demand for that because people are going to be making all sorts of different kinds of games. You all right there, Tort? So if you have a pre-built thing, not necessarily everybody will be able to use it the same way. Although because you can set behaviors in when you upload, like if we look at the wolf den, it's an asset spawner. So when you place this object, it's already got the behavior to spawn. So if we made a trap behavior instead of custom building one like we're doing now, then yeah, you could have something like that. Right now, it's very limited what the behavior settings are, so it just goes with the default. So you can see like it's set to spawn deer even though it's a wolf den. So it's you would have to manually change that. So there's some tweaks that have to go on because when you set the behavior, all you're setting is the initial name here. You're not doing any of the settings when you upload. So yeah, that's a sort of spike trap. I didn't mean to hit start there. I meant to hit delete. So that was a quick little crushing trap. We could put another layer there, but I think we all get the idea. Now, if there was something I could change, I'd make it so it's a little bit faster, a bit more challenging to get through. So you'd have them, firing off unevenly, really quickly. You can also, eventually, you'll be able to spend gems to upgrade these max values. So right now, this has 0 for the speed attribute, which is why you can only move it at a speed of 4. You will eventually be able to win gems in gameplay and then spend them in the marketplace to upgrade your assets so you can have more capabilities with them. So there's kind of like the game, playing the game will improve your ability to create in the game, sort of. All right, so we've only got an hour left. I think we're gonna take a look at some trailers for game levels that other people have been making. So let's save this, and then maybe next week we can do some more trap building, because I've got some good ideas for the other doing swing axes. Actually, one of the trailers that we're gonna look at has swing axes, I believe. I'm not entirely sure how Shinjun put that together, but I can ask him. A launch platform and a rolling boulder trap. I'm not entirely sure if the rolling boulder trap will work, but we can give it a shot. All right, so let's back out of this, and we're going to stop this giveaway. I know it was only half an hour, but I said on every hour, and we had the issues with the first one. So let's see who won. Drum roll. And Azrael Scythe won. So congrats, Azrael. Write your name down, and I'll whisper to all the winners at the end of the stream. All right, and we're gonna start another one. So we're giving away 3 of the fountains today. I'm not sure that this is the best time slot for a 3-hour stream, so we might not do a full 3 hours after today, but we'll see what everybody thinks. Let me know in the chat if you think of a better time slot maybe that you think will get more people interested, because I really want to start giving away some land, but I need more people watching for that. So let me pull up the game trailers here. Yes, that game background was made by Nos. I asked him very nicely with money for a high-res version. I felt like he deserved to get paid for it. So, why is this playing at such a low quality? Let's pump that up. There we go, nice and crispy. So yes, I really liked his render. So this it actually spans over my two. I've got 2 desktops, and so it's one image stretching across the whole thing. You gonna buffer? Probably have these saved. There we go. All right, so this is by Tybalt Samar, who's a pretty famous voxel artist and one of our. I think he's technically the art director, but titles here are a little weird. Hey, Gatto's here. I think it's a 2x2. I'm not positive on that though. I'll answer that. I'll talk more when it's done. It's only a couple minutes. All right. So, I saw some really good questions about that. So let's answer those. I don't know why I just exited that because I might want to come back and play some, but um, so hi Gato, thank you for joining us. So Makwomen asked, how big is the level? I believe it's a 2x2. Just kind of guesstimating based on the way the map looks. I haven't actually opened that file myself to see it. But uh, it looks like approximately that big. You can actually, if you're fast, you can count it. Let's see here. I'm gonna lower the volume though. I'm actually gonna share the link to that video in the chat so you guys can watch it for yourself. Ooh. And be sure to subscribe to the Sandbox's channel for all sorts of cool goodies coming out. So yeah, if we look at the whole size of the map here, let's get a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 10 there. 20. That's about 50. You know, this might actually be, looking at this size here, this might be 1. So this could even be a 3x3. It's kind of hard to tell. So I'd say either a 2x2 or 3x3. I don't think it's a 4x4. It doesn't look quite big enough for that for me, but it could be. This to me right here, this section looks like the size of one land there. 500 by 500 meters. For we can only do 400 by 400, or really 96 times 4, 384. Right now, the game maker only goes up to 4x4 land, so it's 384 meters by 384 meters. So yeah, I don't think this is a 4x4. It could be, but I don't think it is. My computer's kind of showing its age. If I try doing anything over a 2x2, it is not very happy with me, even if I'm not screen recording. It's a lot of land for my computer to handle. There's still a lot of optimizations that have to happen and things like that to make this playable for the most people. Ultimately, the goal is that this will be playable on mobile. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of optimization happening. Omega Fox asked, the map is so huge, is there a functionality to create a map directly in the game like in Minecraft? Yes and no. So editing like in Minecraft is not enabled in the game maker yet. Actually, if you saw some like little leaks like from 2 years ago, it was a lot more like Minecraft before, where you could run around placing assets. But there's been so much that's changed since then. I don't think anything in that old version is even actually in the current one as far as code goes. It switched from Java to Unity, and I haven't seen any of the same features from the old Java version. But you can actually add or remove objects within the game. So there's the asset spawner and the void. So the asset spawner is how I did the lava in that maze level we were looking at earlier. That was spawning lava blocks, and the way that I was crushing the player with those columns, you can destroy objects and or blocks with that. So you can make objects that will destroy blocks. You could, in theory, attach those objects to a character and you could make them like plant objects wherever they go, but I don't see that working very effectively with the limited number of controls there are right now. I believe it is planned that there will be more object placing and removing options in the future for during gameplay. A big part of what we're focusing on right now, though, is making kind of immersive levels. It's less about building in like a Minecraft style and more about making, gameplay of like, platforming and action, and less about construction. But we'll see how that develops. Yeah, there's still a way to interact, add objects, or displace objects, like a key to open a gate. Was that a question, or yes, you can interact with objects and displace objects, so you can pick up items. That's actually, they show that in, where is it? Right here. The bridge is broken. Someone should bring the pieces back here in order to cross to the other side. So one of the components that you can add to any behavior. So you've got behaviors and you've got components. Behaviors are the base function of an asset, whether it's an NPC or an animal or the avatar or a door or a button, like what is its essential behavior. And then components are things you can add to any object. You can add multiple components. So you can add health levels. You can add health levels to a door, so you could punch down a door if you wanted to. You can add sound effects to any object, no matter what their behavior is. So components are like add-ons, and you can do as many of them as you want to a behavior. And pickable is one of the components that you can add to any object. And actually, if you were watching on Saturday, we tried doing that with a squirrel running around, and it sort of worked. You could pick up the squirrel, but it could still run around you. So even though you basically became the parent object, and when you moved, the squirrel would move, the squirrel was also moving. So it would try to like run away from you, and you had to like put it down and pick it up. Hi, Indigo. There should be one running right now. It should be up on the screen. I don't know if you can see that. We've given away 2 already, and we're giving away 1 more. So at about 45 minutes, we're going to be giving away a 3rd fountain. So we're doing a bunch today. So yeah, if you watch here, you can pick it up and you can move them around. You can jump. So this entire thing was recorded in Vox Edit and the Game Maker. There's no. I think the only things that were not part of the Game Maker was the map. Actually, no, this was part of the Game Maker also. So I mean, these effects, like this zooming circle, and that icon, and these dots, and the outline here was done in like After Effects or Premiere as part of the editing of the video. But this screenshot of the map is from within the Game Maker. You just zoomed out and looked down on the map. This is the actual construction in the Game Maker. Building with the blocks and placing objects. That right there was probably a render in Maya, I think is what Tibble uses. Might have been Maya or Blender or another program. So these would have been exported into whatever that 3D graphics program is, and animated the blow up and render. So this is not part of Vox Edit or the Game Maker, but this is made in Vox Edit, animated in Vox Edit. Placing the object in the Game Maker. This interaction was done in the Game Maker. Everything you're seeing right here is straight from the Game Maker. So there's a lot that you can do already. The combat, all the screen effects you're seeing for the combat. Where'd it go? The particles around the feet. Those are all part of the Game Maker. Now, the music and sound effects, I believe, were added after. So the sound effects that you heard for like footsteps and jumping, that was fully done in the editing of the video. But you will be able to add sound effects. You already can add sound effects to games. It's just not as complicated as doing like footsteps and jump sounds and stuff like that quite yet. Yeah, all of this was done with the Game Maker. He used multiple camera angles. This was probably done in multiple takes. Zooming the camera out to different levels, but that is something you can do in the Game Maker. So yeah, this is really just showcasing actual gameplay, actual construction and actual gameplay from the Game Maker. So yeah, that's some editing there. but everything else straight in the game maker. Any more questions about that one, or we've got a couple more trailers we can look at too? Let's see. Next one is Moon Temple. I don't know if Gorilla Jacket is still around. I don't know if he logged off or not. Let me know if we can do the Hourglass level, because I see there's a premiere for that for tomorrow, but I think it's already public. Hey, Gorilla Jacket, can we do the Hourglass one? We'll do the Moon Temple first. But if we can, we'll watch the the Hourglass after this. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit. The last video was kind of loud. Oh, I paused it. Sorry. So this is by Shinjun, who is our Korean and Japanese team leader. He's actually got the biggest group out of our artist leaders, because it's everybody from Korea and Japan. He speaks both languages. Although we're gonna see about making some more divisions in that group, so that way it's not quite so many people. I think he did a lot of stuff with Minecraft before getting involved with the Sandbox. So he does a lot of like really big constructions with the terrain blocks. This gives me lots of like Legend of Zelda kind of vibes. You can see we have regenerating health. I think the dinosaur attacked him. I think the floor is causing damage in this one. So he's got these shooting spears, which I'm not sure. Sometimes when we're doing trailers for this, we can kind of like hint at things. So you see he's using that to unlock the door and get to the end. That was a really pretty level. The spears, I'm not sure if those spears would actually cause damage or if they would knock you down into the floor there, which would cause some damage. Because he was careful to stay up on those blocks, so I didn't see if the floor was actually going to hurt or not. Yes, Omega Fox, you can definitely play in first person. I did a trailer a while ago. Let's see if I can pull that up here. So yes, you can do third person from different levels. Like you can independently control the height of the camera and the distance from the player. So if you wanted to give like a real like mouse or worm's eye view, like close to the ground, you can lower the camera really low and zoom it way in, and then everything will look really big because of how close the camera is to the ground. You have to be careful with that though, because it's pretty easy to accidentally clip the camera into the ground, and then you can see underground. It looks really weird. and then you can also do first person. Actually, the that worm's eye view, making everything look big, works best with the first person camera because of where it places it. Let's see here. Where are my trailers? And 30-second trailers. And I know this one's first person. I think that one's first person. This is these are from the old version of the Game Maker. So things on screen look a little bit different. The rendering's not quite as nice in the old version. Turn it down. It's so loud. So you can see that there's been a lot of improvements to the rendering style. Although I did color grade this to look more like horror. There's that one, and then I did another one that was first person, which was this one, I think. Creepy, yeah, that was kind of cool. The subway one was first person also, right? Oh, not that one. Wrong apocalyptic one. We'll do the sandbox one. So yeah, the first person ones are the ones that I try to do in I do horror ones in first person because horror to me feels better in first person because it's more immersive to have everything like up close. It's more personal. I think Evil Within by Bethesda. Is it by Bethesda? It's not by Bethesda, is it? It's a Japanese game. I don't remember who did Evil Within. So that's a third person horror game, and it is scary because even though it's in third person, they narrow your depth of your camera angle. Your field of view is like super narrow, so it feels really claustrophobic, and everything's like really up close to you, and it's hard to kind of see where you're like you have no peripheral vision. Whereas like Doom, which is like horror styled, but it's not a horror game, it's more like entertaining and in like kind of a funny way. Doom, you can set your camera view super wide so you can see all around you, and it's like you just feel like really godlike running around in that, even though aesthetically it's a horror game. Am I missing a trailer? I think I'm missing a trailer in my I don't know what I did with it. There's the one where the meteors are falling, which okay. Yeah, I thought Bethesda was involved, and I couldn't remember. Like, it's not like Bethesda developed games at all. Tango Gameworks. Let's see. Yeah, I'm missing a trailer here, which I know I have it. If you give me 1 second here. I have the actual video file, which is Brimstone. Here it is. I'm always answering questions. So this isn't horror, but this is like cinematic, like in your face kind of. You want it to be overwhelming, that everything's like collapsing around you, so so unfortunately all my old games from the pre-alpha, basically any ones that have this up here at the top, none of them work in the alpha, which makes me a little bit sad. I'm gonna have to remake these games if I want to share them at all. So Sentinel says, sorry, I don't know if you're answering questions. And like I said, I'm always answering questions. I remember that you said you can set certain behaviors for assets. For example, giving a plant asset the plant object. Do you know if the plant logic will automatically apply a swaying motion? So not right now. So you could make an animated object that has the swaying motion. Thank you, Cozy. You can have plants that sway. Actually, if it doesn't work right now, unfortunately, they changed the way animated objects work. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by something. You want to do the animation in Vox Edit and let that play as the idle animation. So I don't know if you can actually pull it up in, because a base object, I don't know if it will actually show up in the database. Let's see here. I go to shop. Yeah, no, you want to do the swaying in the Vox Edit, and then you can really customize it, because the swaying really wouldn't work as a behavior anyway, because different plants will sway different ways. I want to see what their search results are. Okay, I don't think it'll show up in here because the base trees aren't in here. But I did the plants that are in water, like the water grass is this plant, and it kind of does like this gentle little sway thing. And what it does right now is it plays it once and then it doesn't loop for the rest of the game, so it looks like it's just static. I want to see how this looks in the marketplace. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That's by Benjiro. He's one of our group leaders, and you might know him as is it Ex Machina? I think is his username on Twitter and stuff. So he put together these really nice cabinets for games, and then I was like, you need to animate these, right? You just gotta. So he put together, if you zoom in really close, you might be able to tell these objects. These are full voxels. They're just like right on the edge, so it all looks like one screen, and they play like that. I should actually, I'm gonna put these in my inventory, and we can check them out in the Game Maker later. Just like that. Unfortunately, the animation will only play once, like I mentioned. So the idle animations, except for things like NPCs and stuff, the idle animations stop playing after one loop. So we're gonna have to wait for an update to the animation engine for that. Gatto, I'll send you the Vox Edit file, and you can see how we put them together. All right, so I do want to. So I can't show you the Hourglass video yet because it hasn't premiered yet. But tomorrow, I don't know if I have a time. There's going to be a brand new trailer for Shinjun's next level, which is I've seen it and it's really nice. It's called the Hourglass. So make sure you subscribe and add notifications to the Sandbox YouTube channel. And check that out tomorrow. Maybe Gorilla Jacket knows about what time it'll be premiering. And we've got one more new trailer called The Old West by William Santa Cruz. Oh, or I guess not. It's not live yet. Maybe that one has to premiere also. So we can check that out another time. All right, so now I have some new videos Do you guys want to see tutorials for the Game Maker? We've got about half an hour left, about 20 minutes left. And these tutorials haven't premiered on YouTube yet, so you guys will get the first look at them. Let's see, Game Maker Alpha. These will be up on YouTube probably later today. So we'll watch them one at a time, and we'll see how much time it takes up. I think each of these is only about 2 or 3 minutes. These are really short tutorials, but this is kind of like Game Maker 101. It's going to give you kind of the basics of everything. So let's open them up. Welcome to the Sandbox Game Maker Alpha. This tool will allow you to take assets that you've created in Vox Edit or bought in the marketplace and create games that can be published in the Sandbox metaverse. To get started, you need to have a Sandbox account, which requires an Ethereum wallet. Go to the dashboard at sandbox.game and press the Sign In button. If you don't already have a wallet and a plugin like MetaMask installed in your browser, you can create a new wallet with Bitski. Follow the on-screen prompts to create your Sandbox account. Now, any land, asset, or sand coins you purchase will be stored safely in your wallet. To find the Game Maker download for Windows and Mac OS, visit the dashboard's Play tab. When you launch the Game Maker, it will ask you for the same username and password you just created for the Sandbox dashboard. So I want to point out something, because I know not all of you are probably in the early access. If you've applied to the Game Maker early access, once you've been whitelisted, this green little notification thing will show up here, and you'll see the Play Now on the play button. So if you have not been whitelisted yet and you go to play and you don't see a download Game Maker button, that's why. If you haven't been whitelisted, that's why you wouldn't see it yet. So this video initially is kind of aimed more at the people who are already in the Game Maker early access. So you might be seeing some stuff that is not available to you yet. And congratulations, Omega Fox. A bunch of our Creator Fund artists should be whitelisted now. I don't know if all of them are, but a lot of them should be, so that way you can test the assets that you're making. So if you're in the Creator Fund and you don't have access to the Game Maker, ask me about it on Discord or whatever, and I'll see if I can find out about how to get you in that, so that way you can start seeing if your assets work correctly in the Game Maker. Oh, Indigo Coins made a video about it. Cool. Share that link to me, and we can check that out. Okay, so we're going to finish watching this. Visit the dashboard's Play tab. When you launch the Game Maker, it will ask you for the same username and password you just created for the Sandbox dashboard. Note that this is not asking for your wallet login. Once the home screen loads, you can create a new world. The Templates tab has a library of pre-built experiences: the natural lake shores, exotic desert adventure in the bazaar, bustling city of the block, or the behavior tutorial training grounds. Click on one to make a new copy, name it, and have fun modifying and exploring these maps. The templates will occasionally be updated with new features, and more are on their way. If you'd like to create a new blank map, press the Create New button. Name the file and select the default grassy theme or the sandy desert. Select a map size up to 4x4 lands. Each land is 96 by 96 meters and 128 meters from top to bottom. In the game editor, you control the camera by panning with middle click, orbiting with alt left click, rotating with alt right click, and zooming with the scroll wheel. Left click will place assets and blocks, and right click will remove them. More detailed controls are displayed in the hint menu, which is toggled with the H key. To play the game, press the Tab key or click the play button at the top. If you haven't created an avatar, one will automatically appear. You can move with the WASD keys, sprint by holding Shift, jump with the spacebar, interact with E, punch with left click, and move the camera with your mouse. Pressing Tab will return you to the editor. After you're done editing and playing your experience, remember to press the Save button before returning to the home screen. All of your saved maps will appear in the My Games tab, and recently opened files will be listed on the left side above the Quit button. If you're having difficulty with the dashboard, have questions about setting up a wallet, or need support for the Game Maker, we have a very helpful community and active staff on our Discord channel, which you can find from the bottom right corner of the dashboard. I hope you're getting excited to begin crafting lands in the Sandbox metaverse. All right, so that's the first new tutorial for. Whoop, turn off the auto loop. That's the first new tutorial for the Game Maker, which is kind of more like about starting your account and making your first land. And it's in a series of 5, which should all be up on the Sandbox channel today, and on mine also either today or tomorrow. I have to make some edits for mine because I do some slightly different branding stuff, so there'd be a little variations in the videos. Oh, it's in Spanish. Well, I guess I don't speak Spanish, so I guess I won't really understand what's going on, but I'll see if I can still check it out. And welcome, Alfcraft. Yeah, have you applied to be in the Game Maker Fund or anything? You should check that out. Go to gamefund.sandbox.game, which is, yeah. If you're interested in becoming part of the Game Maker Early Access, this is one way to do it, which is applying here, and I'm going to share that link in the chat. So that will you make a pitch for a game, and if they like the pitch, then you can get early access to the Game Maker, and they'll basically pay you to make a game. There's other ways. If you're a landowner, you'll at some point, if you're not already whitelisted, you will get whitelisted soon to start working with it. I think we've already begun inviting whitelisting the second round of people for testing the Game Maker. And I'm actually gonna thank you for reminding me, Indigo. I'm going to share the link for the Moon Temple video in the chat. There we go. So that's Shinjun's Moon Temple video if you want to check that out again. There was one thing in here I wanted to point out. Where is it? Ah, there it is. These these are the plants I was talking about. I added a slight wave to them, and I was like really happy with the way it looked, but then I couldn't you can't see it in the Game Maker right now. It doesn't do anything. You have Ethereum on Coinbase. MetaMask.io is a great link for crypto wallet. Yep. That's one of our default options here. So I use MetaMask. You can actually see it up in my browser there. I just showed Bitsky as an option because all you have to do is click on Bitsky and go through the steps, and it will set your account up really fast. I think you can use other ones. I'm not sure if you can use Brave Wallet. I think MetaMask is just an example of ones that you can use. I think as long as you have any, well, not any, but I think there's a list. If you check out the articles on Medium that Sandbox has, I think it lists some other wallets, but I'm not sure which article would have it, so I'm not going to try to dig for that right now. All right, you guys want to watch the next one? I've got 4 more of these, and we've still got 15 minutes. The next one is on how to build with the terrain blocks. Yes, you can. That was a good question. Pause that. Yes, you can give assets to a friend. So that's actually how I do the giveaways. It's not free entirely to give an asset. It costs like a few cents. So when I do the giveaways for the fountain NFT, I've got the fountains in my wallet. So if you go to OpenSea and look at your inventory, you can see what assets you have, and you click on one of the assets and you'll see an option to sell or gift. So you can post your assets for sale on OpenSea, or you can gift them to another they don't have to be an OpenSea user, and I think you can use other tools besides OpenSea, but that's just the one I know how to use. Um, Anything that will let you do transactions with your wallet should be able to send the NFT. MetaMask can't do it by itself, because MetaMask, you can trade lands with MetaMask, but you can't trade NFTs, and I think it has to do with what kind of token it is. Individual assets don't show up, like the game assets don't show up in MetaMask as separate tokens that you can trade, whereas land is its own like specific token that you can trade. So it's a little confusing, but yeah, I use OpenSea for gifting lands to the people who win fountains. Yeah, I'm not like I've said before, I'm not a crypto expert. So yeah. I don't know how to make contracts or even like really read them entirely. It goes a little over my head. I would like to learn more about that stuff, and I have some resources for learning more about that stuff, but I'm definitely like very immersed in art and design stuff, and it's difficult to find time to like do all the research on the other stuff, whereas there's a bunch of people around me who already know how to do all of it, so I just kind of let them take care of it without me messing things up. So watch the next one.
Let's learn the powerful terrain editing tools in the Sandbox GameMaker Alpha. Game environments in the Sandbox are made up of two types of objects, the terrain blocks and assets. Both of these are created in Vox Edit, and besides the large default library included with the GameMaker, you can purchase many more from the Dashboard's marketplace, or trade with other players using your wallet and sites like OpenSea. In the game editor, press the L key to open your library. Click the block filter on the left side to show only blocks and hide all of the assets. You could also filter by theme to show blocks related only to a certain kind of place, like cities or nature. When you found a block you like, you can click it to make it the active item. You can also add it to the hotbar for quick access by pressing the Add button to place it in an empty slot, or left-click and drag it to the slot you want. Slots can be clicked to make that item active, or use the number keys as shortcuts. Press the X button or the L key again to hide the library. With the block as the active item, you have a few brush options for terrain creation. The default is the free brush. You can left-click on any block side to add a copy of the active block one at a time, or you can left-click and drag to create a rectangle or box filled with that block. Right-click or right-click drag will remove blocks. Blocks are aligned to a cubic meter grid and not affected by gravity or physics. While they can be added or removed from a scene during gameplay by some asset behaviors, they will mostly be your static environment. You can make a diamond, cube, or sphere out of the active block with the other brushes. Clicking will place or erase the shape, or you can click and drag to landscape mountains and valleys quickly. Each dimension of the brush can be set up to 12 meters, allowing for a lot of shape variety when crafting things like mountains or clouds. When creating with terrain blocks, remember that the avatar is roughly 1 meter wide by 2 meters tall, so you leave enough space to navigate. When blocks are uploaded to the marketplace, they have options to be set as animated fluids that characters can pass through, and clear like glass or water. Assets can be set to receive damage from blocks like lava for hazardous areas. The undo and redo buttons at the top can help correct mistakes. Next to them is the rules button, where you can set the victory and defeat texts, a camera sensitivity slider, and a list of the gameplay controls. Press tab to explore your new world. We'd love to see the lands you are creating. Be sure to take screenshots or recordings and share them to our Discord channel linked on the dashboard.
So you can tell that I'm making these like for YouTube, because I end with that same little bit at the end about going to Discord every time. So don't get sick of it, please. But they weren't necessarily meant to be watched all in one sitting like that. One thing I want to mention is that there is also going to be another tutorial. It's technically already uploaded, but it hasn't been published yet. All about uploading assets to the game maker. So yeah, those brushes those help a lot. So if you were, well, yeah, you were here. When I showed the brimstone trailer, that cloud up in the sky, that was all done with the round brushes at different sizes. So you can really quickly build up cloud shapes, kind of organically. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's a time set for when that video is going to release. It's going to be up on my channel hopefully sometime next week, the tutorial for uploading assets to the marketplace. It references another video that I haven't made yet, so I need to make that video before I release both of them. So the version of it that's on the Sandbox channel doesn't reference the other video, so that will probably come out first. Let's see. Are there any other questions? Well, about Vox Edit. So yeah, it's become so much better in the past year. It used to crash like all the time, and I mean it was early alpha stages then, and now we're in beta. So, every Thursdays when I do asset reviews for the Creator Fund, and that's usually like me over the course of like 6 hours just opening like 100 different files that people have made, and I usually don't get more than one crash, and usually like the crash is because of something silly, like I did something silly, or there was something weird with the file, not necessarily the fault of Vox Edit that it crashed. In most weeks I don't get any crashes with Vox Edit now. The one thing that does tend to be buggy is inverse kinematics, which is why I still haven't made a tutorial on that, because there's still some stability issues with it. So they're working on that. There's a bunch of new features planned for Vox Edit, which I don't know how soon they'll be coming out, but we just had a presentation about that from one of the developers, and there's some cool stuff coming out for Vox Edit. So definitely stay tuned. We're getting new features and new or improved stability with each version. So it's been a really great progression, seeing that go through. All right, this next one is about assets.
Just like with terrain blocks, you can export assets from Vox Edit to your marketplace account. Before clicking the request approval button to add your item.
What is going on with VLC here? It's like, there we go. Did you see that? It was like a weird, it looked like Windows 7 in the corner there, or Windows XP maybe. There was like a weird visual glitch. That was very strange.
Just like with terrain blocks, you can export assets from Vox Edit to your marketplace account. Before clicking the request approval button to add your items to the blockchain minting queue, they are already saved to your account and will download automatically to the GameMaker the next time it is launched. It is always best to test your assets in the GameMaker before publishing them to the marketplace. You can use any assets someone has published on the marketplace by clicking the plus button. This will add it to your account for testing in the GameMaker. But in order to publish an experience to the metaverse, you will need to own every asset used in the game. Open up the game editor library by pressing L and click on the model filter to display only assets. Scroll to the bottom of the filters and click on plants. We can see all sorts of trees and grasses are shown in the library. Clicking on assets will show us their default information in the property panel on the right side of the screen. Trees are usually just simple decorations and have no default behavior. Smaller objects like grass can be eaten by herbivores and will have the plant behavior enabled. This will cause them to attract hungry animals as the first part of an ecosystem's food chain. Attributes set by gems in the dashboard will also display here, showing which assets will be more powerful in certain ways. Activate the object you want to place in your game and press the L key to close the library. Left-clicking on the ground with the brush tool active will place the asset upright. Clicking on the sides or bottom of a block will rotate the asset to match that side. Right-clicking on any object will remove it. Clicking the Move tool on the left side will let you reposition assets. Left-click on the object you'd like to move to highlight it, and the Move gizmo will appear. Left-click and drag on any arrow to slide it in that axis, or hover in the area between arrows and click on the plane that appears to move them in 2 dimensions at once. Left-click on an empty area to deselect the object. Left-click drag to make a rectangular selection for multiple objects, or shift-click to add individual items one at a time to the selection. The Rotate tool will turn the object on the highlighted axis, or you can turn it using the surface of the gimbal. By holding Shift while rotating objects, you can snap them to 45-degree rotations. You can also hold Shift while moving objects, which will line them up to a half-meter grid. The Rotate and Select tools can create selections the same way as the Move tool. The Selection tool does not display a control gizmo, which can make it easier to select multiple objects that are close together. Object positions can be tightly controlled in the Properties panel. Positions are written in meters and define where the origin of the object is placed. Rotation is measured in degrees, and typing 0 in each box is a quick way to reset the rotation. Show us the creative ways you're using assets from the marketplace by taking screenshots or recordings and sharing them to our Discord channel linked in the dashboard.
All right. Shortcuts. Yes and no. I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. So there's the keyboard shortcuts that do exist don't necessarily have like a button that you would press for them. So it's not really so much a shortcut as it is the only command. R is for replace. D is for duplicate, or I think it's Control D for duplicate. Yeah, I don't think rotate and move have shortcuts. Actually, if we go back to, you can see all the controls. If we go, where's my recent files? If we go to, is it in this one? I think it's in the terrain one that we watched, right?
Let's learn the powerful terrain editing.
Towards the end, right? Yeah, right there. So these are all the controls. So build mode, I didn't even mention it in the video, WASD for moving the camera. I really don't use WASD in the editor, in the build mode very much. So I kind of actually forgot to put that in the script. In Q&E for rotate, I've never used that. I have used shift though. So sometimes if I want to zoom in or out really fast, I'll use shift with WNS. But A and D, for me, it's just a lot faster to use the middle mouse button to pan. Camera up and camera down. Yeah, I guess yeah, for AD, space, and C, I really just use the middle mouse pan. I almost never use these controls within the build mode, but they're there. And oh, you do have 1 through 4 for the edit modes. So yeah, there are shortcuts. I just don't use them. I feel a little bit silly. I mean, not that silly. I don't jump through modes that quickly. I guess I could. But yeah, I don't quite have the muscle memory for 1 through 4. Like, I know where they are on the keyboard and I can look at it obviously, but my hand is usually hovering on shift and control, so that way I can use shift and alt is usually where I rest my fingers. So I can do alt for the camera rotate and shift for the object snapping. And then I almost never move my hand from that spot. And that's just kind of the way I work, at least in the Game Maker. I use shortcut keys all the time in Magica Voxel. It's actually, when I've been doing a lot of editing in Magica Voxel and I jump over to a different editor, I keep on finding myself accidentally hitting Magica Voxel keys. I should get the web dev to edit and fund information tab, as it talks about the best anticipated game of 2019. Sentinel, can you give me a link to that page, or did it show up on the screen and I missed it? Is it? Oh, it's not here. I don't know where you saw that. That should get changed. I did have to have them update some stuff for even my profile on the create tab here. Had my name spelled wrong. It wasn't a big deal. They added a second Z to the end of my name on the website under create. Okay. I will let them know that it's there, and they should fix that. I don't think we hit the 2019 release date. I mean, it was an anticipated game. Best anticipated game of 2019. You know, you can still say that. It's not like it stopped being the best anticipated game of 2019. It just is not 2019 anymore, as much as we might wish. Under fund information. Okay, I'll be sure to point that out. Thank you for letting me know. And thank you, Indigo. That Coca-Cola machine is one of my favorites. I made that over a year and a half ago, and it was good to finally put it in the Game Maker. I just wasn't expecting it to be so bright, that was actually my initial reaction. I put it in to make the tutorial, and I was like, "Oh, it's blinding." So this is actually this is a render of it from way back when, with it all lit up and stuff the way it's supposed to be. But you can make the emissive materials a darker shade, and it'll kind of have the right result. I just didn't want to spend time doing that. Yeah, neon cities will be cool to see. I'm hoping for like a night mode and seeing some neon stuff. We've got some people who have made some pretty cool neon assets. So these things are all like I was making a hospital before, and this was way before the Game Maker was being demonstrated. So we didn't really have any object standards. So something like this is like a little overcomplicated for what we're trying to do now. Stuff like this, like I wouldn't try to do this now. Like all these faces would not be good in the Game Maker at all. But yeah, I was trying for some pretty ambitious stuff, and we've changed a lot of the style. So one day I'll get back to these and I'll modify them and see if I can get them working in the Game Maker. We'll see how that goes. So we are past 4 o'clock, so it is time to announce the winner for the giveaway of the third Fountain NFT. And we're going to have to... Oh, I tried clicking exit and it didn't work because it's a video. We've got 2 more tutorial videos, but you're just going to have to go and watch those on the Sandbox channel when they come out. So go and give those videos some views. Make sure... I'm actually just going to put... the channel names in here. So my channel is Voxelize, and the Sandbox channel is the Sandbox Game. So go and make sure you subscribe to those and hit that notification bell, and you'll be able to see when we post those videos. Plus, we also have playlists of previous live streams, so you can check those out. And yeah, so I don't think we'll go quite as long next week. We may shuffle things around, so just pay attention on Twitter. We may change up the schedule, but we are still going to do the Saturday morning streams because people seem to like those. And that's Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I think we were working on the wizard hovel, and we were making a quest of trying to save his cat that got turned into a squirrel. So just some fun community collaboration on level building. So be sure to check that out. And let's see who won. Chosen Champ X won a fountain. So I am going to whisper to you as soon as the stream is done here. Just write your name down so I don't forget it. All right. So thank you for sticking around for all 3 hours for some of you. It's been a lot of fun. Let me know on Discord or on Twitter if you if you would like to see changes made to the format, what kind of things you're interested in watching. We want to keep you all engaged, and I hope you have a nice rest of your week, and I'll see you all on Saturday.